we started the show talking about someone you know well, Joe Biden, still leading the polls. Look, we know him as making gaffes over the years, but he's had a rough month, and most recently messing up that war story. Do you think the media and people are too hard on him, or are we in a race about truth and facts right now?
Well, I think the media has its job to do, and they will record what I say and what Joe says and what anybody else says. That's their job. All I can say is I've known Joe for many, many years in the Senate and worked with him when he was vice president. We're friends. Joe and I have our differences in terms of our vision for the future, and our records are very different. Joe voted for the war in Iraq. Joe voted for the Wall Street bailout. I did not. Joe voted for some very bad trade deals, which I didn't vote for. So, the voters will reach their conclusion.
But is there a double standard? Would you criticize him for telling the same story?
Oh, for Trump is in another world altogether. I mean, Trump is a profound liar.
Yeah.
So and it's embarrassing to have to say this, that what Trump says doesn't mean anything because he often just makes it up and it has nothing to do with reality. I don't think that is Joe Biden at all.
No.
Yeah. Senator, can I get a little wonky with you? So President Trump, in conspiratorial terms, he recently tweeted that the DNC has already decided to back Biden. He said, look what they did. The DNC is again working its magic in its quest to destroy crazy Bernie Sanders. I feel uncomfortable saying that to you. For the more traditional but not very bright, sleepy Joe Biden, I feel uncomfortable with that too. Here we go again, Bernie, but this time please show a little more anger and indignation when you get screwed. So he's basically saying that the DNC screwed you over last time for Hillary and is going to screw you over again. Do you think that's happening? And if it does, will you have a contested convention?
Well, Meg, let me respond in two sentences.
And I would never speak that.
I know you. I know you.
We have our
When
differences, but...
President Trump refers to somebody else as crazy, talk about, somebody in a glass house. So President Trump...
It's called a projection.
Yes.
So you feel like the DNC is in the tank for candidates?
Look, last time around, and this time, my campaign, talked about it with Whoopi, we are taking on the establishment. That's no great secret. We're taking on Wall Street. We're taking on the insurance companies, the drug companies. We're taking on Trump. We're taking on the Republican machine. We're also taking on the Democratic establishment. The difference, though, between this time and last time is, as you will recall, before the first vote was cast in Iowa, Secretary Clinton had 500 superdelegates lined up behind her. In other words, like it's a 100-yard race, she's on the 30-yard line. We ended that. I would go further, but right now, on the first ballot at the Democratic National Convention, no superdelegate will be voting. That's a step forward. Second of all, I'm feeling pretty good about our campaign, and I very much appreciate President Trump's wholehearted concern about me. I know he is being sincere about this.
Yeah. Can I just follow up really quick, though? But Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is saying she's been excluded from the DNC stage, and she actually resigned, as you know, as vice chair of the DNC last time because of your treatment. Number one, do you think that she was right? Again, I just don't know if getting rid of superdelegates is enough. And do you think it's your turn to stand up for her to be on the debate stage now?
Let me just say this. I would go further. I would ban superdelegates from voting on any ballot. We could not achieve that. We got them off the first ballot, which was a step forward. Tulsi is a good friend of mine. Where the DNC right now had a difficult problem. How do you deal with 20 candidates who are running? Do you have 20 people up on the stage together? Does that make a sensible debate? I think not. So they came up with their approach. I am not a great fan, I should tell you, Megyn, as to how we do debates in general.
Right.
My own feeling would be, rather than giving people 45 seconds to talk about what we do with the crisis of high cost of prescription drugs, we focus on healthcare, we focus on climate change, do it issue by issue, rather than trying to deal with 50 different issues in a short period of time.
I'd like to get into an issue very quickly with you. We're running out of time. Yesterday, Walmart announced it was ending all handgun ammunition sales. It asked customers not to carry guns into stores. It got rid of handguns in Alaska, making it a complete exit from handguns for Walmart. While over the weekend, Texas loosened up its gun laws. Now, if you are elected president, first day in office, Senator, what do you do about it?
We announced to the country that we will not be intimidated by the NRA. That we will, in fact, look, what has gone on recently in Odessa, Texas, Dayton, Ohio, El Paso, so many other instances, the American people and the children of our country are horrified. And we have got to do everything that we can to end the gun violence. And here's the good news, Sonny. The good news is that, by and large, the American people want to pass strong gun safety legislation. And more people, by the way, agree with the position I've had for a long time, that we should ban the sale and distribution of assault weapons in this country, which I think is the right thing to do.